guys, it's Emily. Welcome back to my channel. I have a little project to share with you and kind of show you how I did it. So a while back, I found these two little matchboxes on eBay, and like, they are so adorable. They are from the 1930s, is what I was told. Actually, while I have this open, I'm just gonna take the matches out because I don't need them. And I'll put them in with the others. Anyway, so I found these on eBay and I had to have them because look at the beautiful images of these Victorian ladies on the front, and then the back has this really pretty fleur-de-lis pattern. And yes, I'm aware, well, at least it appears to me that the fleur-de-lis are upside down. But obviously that I had nothing to do with that. But anyway, I just thought they were so cute. And as soon as I saw them, before I even had them, I knew I wanted to make little tiny mini journals out of them. So that is what I've done, and I just wanted to show you a finished one. So we have, I just left I did nothing to the front. I added some fabric and some lace onto the spine, and there's the back. And then I have some sari silk here as my little closure. And I love little things, but my hands don't quite know what to do with little things. Anyway, inside, and you'll see that it's actually, the matchboxes are really thin, like I would call it balsa wood. I don't really know what it is actually called, but just really thin wood. So it's not cardboard, it's sturdier than that. And I just used some book page, and then just some coffee dyed or tea dyed lined paper. Whoops, I'm totally out of frame. Sorry about that. There we go, that's better. This is some book page and some tea dyed lined paper, and then another book page in the center. And then I just added some beads onto the thread that I used to sew the signature in. So I thought that I would show you how I made this. And then I'm gonna put these in my shop for anyone who might be interested in having them. Let me get this tied real quick. And like I said, my hands just don't know how to work with tiny things. There we go. Good enough, I can fix it later. Anyway, so there is the finished little matchbox journal. All right, so I have a full matchbox here, and I basically use this piece, whoops, the main piece. This is gonna be my spine, and it has like the striker material on both sides, but this will be my spine. And then I need to remove this piece, and it happens very easily. It's not as difficult as I thought it might be, but basically I am just cutting up in the center of that piece because I'm just gonna throw it away anyway. All right, like so. Now when you open it up, you see that it's actually two pieces. So I will end up gluing that piece down, but I was able to the other one just kind of came off. There we go, like that. And I'm just gonna throw that away. Don't need that. And I don't mind the rough edge. I think that's fine. I am going to just trim, if you see like the picture on the front is just a little bit, it's hanging off a little bit there. So just cut some of that off. Now we just need to get rid of this piece, and I think I'll be able to do it this way. I had to use my paper trimmer for the other one that I made, but it came off this time, so that's perfect. All right, so you're left with this piece, and it's from 1930s, so it's delicate, especially until you get this all kind of glued down. So the first thing we want to do, and I used I think it's Fix, but you know, Fabri-Tac, whatever. And I just ran a line right up the middle and then just kind of squished it around. And I made sure to add a bit in that little, in the little crease there. And then I just carefully press that down and make sure that it's holding pretty well. The glue that I put in the crease does kind of squish out a little here on the front, but it's okay because I'm going to cover it with some fabric anyway. So I am not terribly worried about that. All right, so while that is sort of setting, drying, the next thing I did, just let that sit for a minute over on the side. So I got some papers ready, and these are, let's see, this is some Tim Holtz paper, and then again just some tea-dyed scraps, basically, is what I used. I just pulled some stuff out of my scrap bin, and I made this, as you can see, it's a hidden spine. So everything is sewn into a piece that is glued inside, so you don't see the thread on the outside. And what I did was I just took them both from the other piece, so I have it ready. But what I did was this bottom piece of the actual internal box, I just cut on the corners, and then I used my paper trimmer, but you could just cut this, and I'll just do that because my trimmer is behind me. And then I just kind of trimmed up a little bit if there was anything, you know, kind of extra hanging off, and that became my internal spine. So I honestly don't need this piece anymore, so I'm just going to throw that away because I have one all ready to go, and I've already punched my 3 holes for my 3-hole pamphlet stitch that I will be using to sew this together. Now, normally if I, you know, like a bigger journal, I go to a lot more trouble to make sure that my holes are lined up properly and they're spaced properly and all that. I was feeling a bit lazy today, so what I did was I took my spine piece here, right, and I sort of lined it up right next to, I'm gonna try to, so you can see what I mean. I just did this. This is so not technical at all. This is probably the worst possible way to poke holes for your signature, but like I said, I was feeling sort of lazy. So what I did is I just kind of lined up my pokey tool with the hole, you know, where it is on there, and then I just punched through, and then I did the same thing for the other holes. This is, yeah, honestly, don't do this. This is probably an awful way. It worked the first time. I'm hoping it works the second time. I just didn't feel like measuring and all of that. So, oh, I know. Lazy. No, this I can't. Okay, hold on. Can't see what I'm doing. And it's not going straight. There we go. All right. So, like I said, don't do this. Measure, do what you normally do. And then what I did, just until I'm ready to actually sew it, I just hold it all together with my awl. Again, sort of lazy. All right, now this is probably dry enough. What we're gonna do is, I'm gonna open this up so you can see. I should have just left it open to begin with, right? So for lots of reasons, but mostly to kind of reinforce, you know, what is this called? Where it opens and closes, right? I added sari silk to the inside, and I added like this, I don't know what this is, some sort of cloth to the outside to kind of just give that a little extra, right? So what I did, I have 2 pieces of just some scrap sari silk, and I'm going to glue that just in the middle because the glue shows a lot. This doesn't probably really help a whole lot with the opening and closing, but it kind of hides the hidden spine. That's what the inside is for. And I mean, you could do it differently if you wanted to. I feel like since I glued everything down, it's probably okay. And honestly, I wouldn't recommend like actually using these to write in anyway. These are more decorative. That would be my suggestion. If you decide to make these, or you want to just purchase the ones that I've made, either way, I would suggest you don't actually open these a whole lot. It would be hard to write it anyway because they're so tiny, but you know, obviously that's up to you and what you want to do. But all right, so there's that piece. But see, you can see the glue through there, right? And I just used my Barely Art glue. And I'm going to do the same thing on my hidden spine. So I'm going to glue it on this side. Okay. And there we go. So I'm just going to add, I'm not going to go nuts because I don't want it to show too much. And actually you could, no, it's fine. I was gonna like rub it, like, you know, kind of use my finger and squish it around, but I don't think it's necessary. Okay, so we have that covered now. And just trim this a little bit. There we go. And I'm gonna let that dry for a second. Over here. Hopefully I'm doing really awful about staying in frame lately. I don't know what my deal is. All right, oh, sari silk strings everywhere. All right, so then what I did, I just took this piece of whatever it is, and I'm gonna glue that on. And for this one, I did, I didn't want the glue like showing through, right? So I'm gonna put a line on either side because it does overlap a bit. And then I just used my finger to kind of make this a little more even. Like so. go. Give that a second. Get the glue off my fingers. All right, and then I went ahead and just sort of trim this to about the same length as the inner piece here. It doesn't have to be perfect, but I was kind of going for a shabby look anyway, but just kind of fringe that up a little bit. All right, let's let that dry for a second. Clean up my mess. All right, and then I added, on this one, I used just a piece of vintage lace. It just happened to be kind of a peachy color, but that was like the perfect size, and I didn't have any more scraps of that, so I just grabbed this piece, which is also very pretty, and we will just glue that down. I think I'm going to use Fabri-Tac this time though. Maybe I'll actually add it to the lace. Might be a better idea. So I hope you're all having a good day. Yeah, I mean, I don't really have anything new to report. Since the 4th of July, well, it got a little better, and then now it's awful because people are still setting off fireworks in my town. Not every night, but it doesn't seem to matter. Oscar is terrified to go outside as soon as it starts to get kind of dark. Like, not even, this is like twilight hour, right? So it's not even dark yet, but he knows it's coming, I guess. And even if there aren't any fireworks happening, he just does not want to go outside. And he's such a good boy. And I feel so bad because honestly, if he were to have accidents, I'd be like, dude, whatever, because he's so scared. But he won't, even if we can get him outside, and that usually requires picking him up and carrying him, he won't go potty. So he holds it. And it's so sad. It's so very sad, but I don't know what to do to make it better. And yeah, it's awful. So that's been, the past few days have been really bad with that. And it's frustrating to watch him go through that. Because, we feel bad because we're like practically dragging him outside, and, he obviously does not want to do that. So it's awful. I don't know. I'm probably going to have to call the vet. He's started on some anti-anxiety medicine. Well, he's been on the full dose since the 4th of July. And he was on it a couple weeks before that. And I honestly feel like he's getting worse. And I'm wondering if maybe it's just the wrong medication. And it's having like a opposite effect. Which would just be awful if that were the case. But, I don't know. I'm going to have to call the vet, I guess. Because it's very sad. It's very sad. And I feel bad for him. And anyway, so that's been what we've been dealing with. Okay, so there we go. There is our little adorable spine. Okay, and then I think we can probably go ahead, while that is sort of drying, we can go ahead and sew in our signature. And I don't know, I sort of did a weird thing with the, well, it's not weird, just different. So I thought I would be able to just attach my closure. For some reason I wasn't thinking. I thought, oh, I'll just sew it into the middle, right? But then it only closed the pages. So I still had to glue it down. So I'll show you what I did, and then, you know, you'll probably do it better than I did. But first I want to poke, oh yeah, I want to poke through the sari, just to make it a little bit easier when I go to sew this. So I'm just using the holes that I already created here and just poking through, because I'm going to go through this side. Does that make sense? And we might as well just do it the same way, even though it didn't really work the way I wanted it to. Basically, let me find my center hole here. Nope. I mean, I could take the papers off of here, and this would probably be a heck of a lot easier, but since I was lazy and didn't do this the smart way to begin with. All right. Anyway, all I want to do is like find the center and get a hole started here. Like that. Does that make sense? Okay, I know it's kind of weird. Let's just put that there. All right, so I have a piece of waxed thread, and I have a needle here somewhere. Oops, I should probably put the pin in my glue. All right. Oh, why am I doing it that way? Isn't that funny? I always, that's so weird. I don't know. I did that. I was like using the wrong hands. That's really weird. Okay, so I'm just gonna do a classic, you know, 3-hole pamphlet stitch. So now I have grabbed the sari, right? And that'll just, I mean, yeah, you don't have to do that. You could just glue it in, but I don't know. That's how I did the last one. So let me see, make sure. All right, there we go. And need my pliers. I am so awkward with this. It's not even funny. It's so tiny. All right, hold on. Come on. There we go. All right. So here's what we have so far, right? And just tighten that up a bit. Okay, and then I want to come in top, just holding on. I've got stuff everywhere. This is not a tutorial on how to do a pamphlet stitch, because I'm not doing a very good job of actually showing you what I'm doing, am I? All right, and then just gonna go back in the center here, hopefully. Just find, there we go. All right, there we go. So there is, you know, you won't see any of that because we're going to glue that down into the spine. All right, I'm going to leave my needle on because I am going to just go ahead and attach the beads while we're while we're here, and then I won't have to do that later. And I won't have to rethread at least the one side. Okay, so I just have, these are just some of the beads from BB Craft. And last time I was able to actually use this needle, and it's the same beads, but you know, probably not. There we go. All right, I wanted to show you how I hold my beads where I want them while I'm tying my knot, because it can be troublesome. So I have this thing, I think it's called, I'm gonna say a word and don't laugh at me if I have it wrong, but I think it's a hemostat. It's like a, I think like you use it to clamp off like in a surgical situation. I know I'm probably getting that terribly wrong, and for any doctors or nurses or medical professionals out there laughing at me right now, you may kindly, without you know, without making fun of me, give me the actual terminology. So anyway, it clamps down and it holds the bead there, right where you want it. So when you tie your knot, your bead doesn't end up somewhere else. Does that make sense? Yeah, I'm sure that, you know, there's better ways to explain that, but anyway, it holds the bead where I want it, right? So that I can tie my knot, and it stays pretty well where I wanted it to go to begin with. Okay, I hope that makes sense. Anyway, so now I know it's gonna hang where I wanted it to hang. All right, let's cut off the extra here. And let's do the other one. So same thing, sometimes I go a little lower, just so they, you know, aren't like bumping into each other. The beads, that is. So I just clamp that down. Oh, probably should have, yeah, no, not yet, Emily, not yet, not yet. We need to put the bead on the string first. Oh goodness. All right. This poor needle, it is all bent and wonky because I am abusive to my needles, because I have to use pliers to do everything, because, so it's like, it's not even, I mean, it's like completely bent. It's awful. Oh, whatever. All right, now we can add our little, whatever this thing is called. All right, and I think there will be fine. And then just tie my knot. Like that. And it was, I was a little off, but it's fine, because it's fine. It just is. All right. Let's trim off that extra. All right, and then there is our little signature with our closure ready to go in our cover. And basically what I'm gonna do is use a binder clip and hold all of this kind of out of the way so that I have something to help me position. Does that make sense? So I have something to kind of press against when I'm putting this inside. Yeah, like that. All right, so let's add the glue, and I'm using the Fabrifix again. or 3-in-1. I think it's Fabrifix this time. I get whatever I can get because Amazon doesn't always have all of them to choose from. So, and I usually, well, lately, since everything has been, you know, closed, I just get everything on Amazon that I can anyway. And, you know, sometimes you're limited by what they have available. Or in my case, a lot of times it's whichever one is a better price or that I can get quicker. Even though I have Prime, a lot of, you know, sometimes things aren't 2-day. So yeah, depends on how long I waited to place my order and how much glue I'm, you know, down to. All right, so make sure we do this the right side up. Whoops. So here's our cover. And I'm gonna just make sure that I'm sort of centered. It's a little bit difficult for me, you know, as long as it's like in the cover, I'm not too worried about it being perfectly centered. And then I'm gonna open it up and take this off. And then I can sort of press everything down here. All right, now put my binder clip back on, but just on my pages this time. And I'm gonna glue down the closure here. So the glue shows a little bit, so I try to like kind of gather it up a little. I don't know if that's the right word, but I'm just gonna sort of, you know, add some glue here. And there's actually a nice fold in this piece, so I'm pushing down into the glue just the one side. And now you might have to do this a couple times. I noticed that because these are from the 1930s, the wood it tends to soak up moisture. So it kind of soaks up the glue a little bit. So I just did it a couple times until until it held pretty well, like that. And then this side. And again, there's like a fold in my sari here. So I'm just gonna push that down first to soak up most of the glue. And then that way it won't show through, if that makes sense. All right, there we go. And then we'll let that dry for a minute. And then I will recap my glue here. All right, and you could, you know, like add, You could add decoration to it if you wanted to. You could add a little ephemera inside if you wanted to. I did not do that because I liked them just the way they were. Just sort of, you know, sort of plain, but also pretty. And like I said, these will be in my shop by the time this video uploads. And you can go and check them out if you're interested. I hope that this was fun. If you get your hands on some, you know, they don't even have to be old. I have some Matchboxes that aren't as old that I plan on probably doing something with as well. So it doesn't have to be, you know, you don't have to get old ones. These just happen to be, I thought, very reasonably priced and, you know, pretty. So that's why I purchased these. But, you know, if you can't find these in particular, I'm sure you can find something. eBay is perfect for that kind of thing, or estate sales and things like that. And you probably won't have as much of a struggle tying a bow as I do. Oh my goodness, like, come on, there we go. All right, that's not perfect, but it is close enough. All right, guys, I hope that that was fun. I hope you enjoyed that. Please give this video a thumbs up if you did. And I would love for you to subscribe if you are not already a subscriber. I am approaching 3,000 subscribers, and I'll be having a giveaway when we get there. So yeah, I would love it if you would subscribe and join me for that when it's time to celebrate. All right, guys, you have a fabulous day. Stay safe, stay healthy, and I will see you in the next video. Take care. Bye.